It's a very capitalistic outlook on life these days, right? The people in power, they want you to just do the 9 to 5, go to work, finish your work, come home, watch some TV, watch some drama, have your dinner, go to sleep and repeat that every single day of your life, 9 to 5, 5 days a week. As soon as you start to get fed up on Friday, go 2 days, here's your break. There's the break for the slaves, go and do what you want. Go and get drunk, that's what most people do these days. Go to the pub, go to the clubs, get drunk, forget about life. Forget about life, escapism, escape. And then wake up again Monday morning and repeat the cycle over again. This is what I call it modern day slavery. Now the first thing I want to discuss is what is atheism? What do they believe? What are they pushing? And why does it seem to be something very very sort of overpowering? Why do we get afraid of this? Why do we get scared when we hear these ideas? Let me put it simply. Atheism, what do atheists believe? Atheists, by extension naturalists. Now does anyone know what a naturalist is or who a naturalist is? Or someone that ascribes to naturalism? Sorry? No? Anyone else? Okay, so very easy. Naturalists, the key is in the word, they believe in everything to be natural. Everything that exists in reality is physical. It's all physical. There is nothing beyond the physical. This is what they say. There is nothing beyond the physical. It's all physical. Everything that exists is a result of physical causes. There is nothing beyond this. There is no supernatural. There is no creator. There is no God. This is their philosophy. Now, as an offshoot, if you like, you have atheism. Atheists believe something very similar. They say, generally, they would also believe that there is no creator, there is no cause. Everything that exists is physical and it has resulted from physical causes. That's it. Okay? This is, in a nutshell, what they believe. I'm not generalizing, not all of them believe exactly this. Some atheists may say, oh, there may be a power, there may be something there. But generally, and if you've come across atheists before, they will be of the position that there is no God, there is no creator. That's it. All that exists is this, we only live once, this YOLO mentality, and you're going to die, and that's it. Okay? Now, I'm going to give you the simplest way of breaking down these ideas. And what we're going to see throughout today is that when you deny Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you live a life without Allah, life makes no sense. Everything breaks down. Everything breaks down. All you have to do is go to their foundations. Now let's analyze what they say, and it's going to take 2 minutes. They say there is no creator, there is no God, there is nothing behind everything that exists. Okay? Everything that exists is just physical, and therefore everything that has come to be today, everything we see, the brothers around us, these buildings, these atoms that make up these things around us, these physical things, this world, everything, they say, is a result of blind, random, physical things, processes. Okay? Does that make sense? They say there is no God. Everything that has come to be is through blind, random, non-rational, dead, physical processes that are taking place. There is nothing behind it. There is no consciousness, awareness. There is nothing behind it. It's just random atoms and molecules that have been whizzing around for millions and millions and millions of years, which have resulted in everything we see around us today. Right? This is the belief. Now, if we really stop and think about this for a second, you will start to see how absurd and crazy their view and position is. How can you say that this entire universe and everything that exists, and all of the life that exists on the face of this earth, on this planet, and maybe in other parts of the universe, Allah knows best, and all of the life that exists under the seas, and the human being, with all of our intelligence and our rational minds and our ability to understand the world and to reason and to do all of these things, how can you say all of this has come from blind, random, dead, physical atoms whizzing around for millions of years? How can you say that? They come to us and they say, how can you believe in a God, the being you can't see? You're claiming almost a conspiracy. No, how can you make such a claim that everything you have, including yourself as a human being, and your ability to reason that you're demonstrating right now, is a result of blind, random physical processes? Does everyone understand? How can you claim that? It makes no sense. What they're claiming is hocus pocus, is magic. Right? On the surface, this was saying, on the surface, they come across very intellectual, very rational, right? Like academics. And some of them have studied to a very high level. But when you scratch below the surface and you analyze their beliefs, it all crumbles. It all falls apart. Right? You're telling me that random atoms that have been bumping around into each other for millions of years have resulted in all of this perfect order we see in the universe today. Explain to me how that works. Just ask them. How does that work? How do you make sense of your mind that you're using? You know, your aql, this intellect that Allah's given us. The ability to understand the world, to analyze things and to understand how things work. To reason, to understand the truth of things. Are you telling me that this has come from blind, random physical processes? How does that work? They have no answer. And they don't like you to go to their foundations. They don't like you to turn the tables on them. Because they have no answers. Can you see how easy it is to break down their view, their worldview? Yes? Does that not make sense to anyone? Here. Okay, good. Another thing I want us to appreciate and understand is this. As soon as you say you're an atheist, and as soon as you say there is no God, as soon as you say, I don't believe in a creator, there is no God, there is no Allah, everything is just physical and we are just an accident of this physical process and we're here and we're going to die. As soon as you say this, there is no more meaning in life, there is no more purpose in life, there is no ultimate happiness anymore. Think about this. If you and me are just accidents, physical accidents, then where is the purpose? Where is the ultimate purpose? There is no purpose. Where is meaning? Put yourself in that position for a second. Is there any meaning to life? You know, when you spill milk on the floor, it's an accident. There's no meaning behind it. You just spill milk. There's no purpose or meaning in their lives. Their lives are void of meaning and happiness and purpose. Happiness, think about this. Do this little thought experiment, brothers. Imagine you're sitting here right now, right? And for some reason you get really, really bored and you fall asleep. Okay? You wake up and the next thing you know, you were sitting in a masjid, the next thing you know, you're on a plane. Right? And the plane is flying through the air and you're in a very comfortable seat and you look around you, ask yourself, what's the first question that's going to come to your mind? Just say it out loud. What's the first questions that come to your mind? How did I get here? I was in the masjid, fell asleep and I'm on a plane. Now the plane's traveling, right? And suddenly you have these questions, but suddenly you start to feel the comfort of the chair that you're sitting in. It's very comfortable, right? And then you look out of the window and you see the most beautiful view, the mountains, the Alps maybe, yeah? And the sun is setting, and then suddenly as you're enjoying the view, someone brings you a nice tray, a platter of food, right? 5-star food, Michelin quality food, yeah? And they put it in front of you. Now temporarily, how are you going to feel? You may start enjoying this, yes? You may start enjoying the experience, may enjoy the food, the ambience, the look, the views. But ask yourselves the question, brothers, if you end up in that situation, behind all of that temporary enjoyment, would you truly be satisfied and happy? Not knowing how you got on the plane, where the plane is going and where it's going to land. Would you be happy? No. And this is a metaphor for life. Right? This is our lives. We come into this reality, right? And the atheists want you to believe that you are an accident. You are just here by chance at random. You live through life and then you die. As human beings, we're inquisitive. We ask the questions. Why am I here? Where am I going? What's my purpose? What's the meaning of life? We think like this. We reason about these things. But on atheism and naturalism, there are no answers. What's the answers? You're an accident. Is that satisfying? An intellectual, rational person, is that satisfying for someone like that? Who asks these questions and knows that he can think, he can reason, he can understand reality. Deep down his fitrah, he knows deep down inside that there is more to life. There is more to my existence. Is it satisfying telling him you're an accident? You're just this physical thing? Brother, you are just atoms, meat, bone and meat, no different from a piece of meat hanging in the butcher shop, and you're going to die. Is that satisfying, bro? No. And ask any atheist, even though on the surface they may say yes, but inside it will kill them. Because it doesn't sit well with the soul. It doesn't sit well with the heart, the qalb, the spiritual self. It doesn't sit well with the fitrah of the human being. They know this inside. right? And this is something we need to point out. And these are very simple things we should point out to them. Ask them, where is the purpose? Where is the meaning? Where is the true happiness when you deny Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Where are these things? What do you have? You know, it's nice you're coming across very rational and you look very smart and you make very intellectual arguments, but where is the meaning and purpose in life? Nothing. Right? And if you go to their foundations, there is nothing left. It falls down like a house made of cards. It just crumbles, completely crumbles. And this is the reality, brothers. We don't have to go deeper than this. There's a very powerful book that Brother Hamza has published, Hamza Dotse, is called The Divine Reality. And he covers many arguments, and I really recommend every single person reads that book, inshallah. Right? You can get it on Amazon, I believe. And he covers all of the very powerful arguments of God. He even goes into the idea of the fitrah and the nature of, you know, the human being, and breaks down atheism. Very powerful. But for now, on a very basic level, we can appreciate that when you go to the foundations of atheism, it crumbles. There's nothing there. It's empty. And don't take my word for this. All you have to do is go on Google tonight, search atheist forums, and you will see many people that become atheist or leave religion, they're leaving comments like, oh, I'm depressed. There's no meaning to life. I feel empty right now. You know, I just feel like this physical piece of meat. There's nothing to my life anymore. I was just drinking and trying to forget about everything, but, you know, I can't do it. Can someone help me? Can someone advise me? How do I get over this? There's videos on YouTube, atheists saying how to combat early stages of depression when you accept atheism. I'm not saying all atheists are depressed, but there is this common trend that you see, because when you go against your very nature as a human being, you're going to fall into this. Yeah, you're going to fall in. You can't escape this. You can't escape this reality. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what does Allah tell us in the Quran? Don't be like those who forgot Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Allah made them forget themselves. Yeah, Allah tells us, you forget Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you will forget yourself. You will forget what you are, who you are. You'll forget this. Allah tells us in the Quran that those that turn away from the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, those that turn away from the remembrance of Allah, they have constricted, difficult, depressed lives. I believe it's Ibn Kathir on the tafsir of this ayah, he says something very, very powerful. He said that this type of person who denies the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he can have all of the luxuries in the world. He can have all of the money, all of the houses, all of the cars, all of these amazing things, but he will never truly be happy inside. He will never be happy. You want evidence of this? Just look at the lives of rich, affluent people, celebrities. Many of them, they have everything money can buy, but they are empty inside. They're depressed. Some even commit suicide. Right? The stories are there. You can see them for yourselves. Something is missing, brothers. We live in one of the most richest parts of the world, right? We have all of the luxuries, all of the amenities, running water, food on tap, central heating in winter, you know, nice ACs in summer if we need that, everything, cars, all the luxuries you can imagine, right? But if you look at the rates of consumption of Prozac and antidepressants and things like this, it's on the rise. Why? If as human beings we were driven to just fulfill ourselves of physical things and live off the material world, brothers, think about this. Shouldn't we be happy then? Because we have everything. But people are breaking down left, right and center. People are breaking down. So this tells us, brothers, that there is something else. You know, there is something inside human beings that Allah has created and He's placed within us, which is looking for Allah, is looking for the truth. But it expresses itself in different ways. Right? There's this emptiness inside the human being. You can be an atheist, you can be agnostic, there is something missing in there. But when we don't find it, we run after other things. We run after material things, worldly things. And we're testament to that. We do it ourselves. You know, maybe every single one of us here, especially the young brothers, we probably want to buy something, right? You guys probably have something that you want to buy in the next year, 6 months, 7 months, yeah? And you're saving for it right now. You're saving money for it. And you've probably done this in the past, but when you buy that thing, what happens in a few days? What happens? You get bored of it, then you want something else, right? And then you save for something else, and this is a cycle that continues through life. You want things, you buy things, but you're not happy. A few days later, it's just another thing, then you want something else. Right? And maximize, now increase this. If you look at the societies in the world we live in today, human beings are going crazy over material things. They're chasing the dunya because there's something missing inside. They need to fill it. How are they expressing that? How are they running after it? They're running after the material world. They're running after worldly things, trying to satisfy the emptiness inside. You know, There's an itch inside of them. One of the brothers, some beautiful put in a beautiful way, there's an itch inside of them, but they can't scratch it. They just can't find what's going to fulfill them inside. And they're still looking. They're still looking. Right? And this is this is the nature of human beings, brothers. Now, if we understand this reality, and we understand how easily atheism breaks down, the question is, why are people following it? Why are people still going after it? Yeah, it's very important we address this. I believe there's many factors to this. Yeah, and it's good we are aware of these because they will help us in helping ourselves and others, inshallah. There are many factors, but the two key factors, or three key things I want to touch upon is this. Number one, we have turned away from our tradition. Especially when it comes to Muslims. If we have been affected by doubts and questions about God's existence, and the questions people ask us, they're affecting us, is because we've turned away from our tradition. Inshallah, I want to share some things with you from the Quran before we conclude today, which will just open your mind and think, subhanAllah, how just 2 or 3 words of the Quran, the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, can just completely just wipe away any doubts and any confusion about Allah's existence. Right? But it's because we've turned away from our tradition. We don't spend time reading the Quran. We don't spend even 5 minutes a day on a daily basis with the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We've turned away, and this is why we're being affected. Now, another 2 things to keep in mind is that, look, on a social level, we live in a world today, brothers, and we all know this, which is a very godless world. The world we live in is constructed in a way where it's very godless. Right? The ideologies we live under are very godless because people want you to move away from God. The educational systems, the way they teach, we're taught science, for example, in school, take God away from the picture. Right? It's a very, very godless, secular way that the world is working in today. And it doesn't want anything to do with God. Right? And it's very interesting because there are people that understand human nature. And the majority, the masses of people are being influenced and controlled by these groups of people. It's very interesting when you think about the psychology of how things are working today. Look, it's very easy. Split the human being away from his creator. What do you have left? You have a person who is just wobbling now. He's all over the place. He has no anchor. There's nothing grounding him. His nature is screaming out to worship and submit to something, but he doesn't have his creator anymore. You've taken that away from him. What does he have left? What's he going to do? He's going to look to latch onto things. What's the most easiest thing to latch onto? What he can see, what's in front of him, the physical things. Right? It's a very capitalistic outlook on life these days. Right? The people in power, they want you to just do the 9 to 5, go to work, finish your work, come home, watch some TV, watch some drama, have your dinner, go to sleep and repeat that every single day of your life, 9 to 5, 5 days a week. As soon as you start to get fed up on Friday, go 2 days, here's your break. There's the break for the slaves, go and do what you want. Go and get drunk, that's what most people do these days. Go to the pub, go to the clubs, get drunk, forget about life. Forget about life, escapism, escape. And then wake up again Monday morning and repeat the cycle over again. This is what I call it modern day slavery. Allahu Akbar, Allahu